Hello everybody, this is Fine Finance. We are going to live stream today Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp shareholders meeting merger vote merging together with Fisker Inc. And yeah, this morning, it's all who watched all of our previous live streams that this is more of a usual process like it was with Halen and Nicola and everybody else like Lordstown recently. So yeah, this morning doesn't look really great from the whole market. From the market standpoint, and yeah, everything is crashing. And if you are looking at the price of the SPAQ this morning, it was yesterday was around $10, which is kind of the bottom for the stock. If we are taking a look at the 1 year chart, it was around 10 all of the time, like every SPAC, right? So at the announcement, of course, it went insanely 67%, and then we just the day we're going to merge, it actually went down to the bottom line, and even further. It's just this morning was around $9. Anyway, probably this is because of Dow falling, everything is falling, S&P 500, Tesla, you name it. For the last 3 days, it's been really tough on the market, and yeah, we'll see. But probably the other reason is Fisker in general doesn't have really good, doesn't have investors feels optimistic, right? Probably because of the Fisker past. If you don't know, in 2008, Henrik Fisker founded Fisker Automotive, and then at that time they produced luxury hybrid electric vehicles. So the story was that there was this was the same Fisker company. So he kept the brand name after everything, but that was a different company. So Fisker Automotive do not confound with Fisker Inc., which is today merging with Spartan Energy. So at that time, Fisker Automotive, in 2008 they started, and 2011 they started to deliver first vehicles, if I'm not mistaken exactly the year. And what happened is that at that time their battery supplier, filed for bankruptcy, and they had to stop production. And what ended up as they filed for bankruptcy as well in 2014. So basically, the whole story was ended. Well, it was not good. I understand that everybody feels not really optimistic about the second try of Henrik Fisker, because he kept Fisker brand, so he kind of reusing it, and well, we'll see. So we still have 4 minutes left. Just let me know if the sound is okay. Oh, there are so many comments. Yeah, that's great. All right, thank you guys for sharing all your entry price levels. Can you tell me if the sound is okay, if I'm not just talking with myself here right now and you don't hear anything? All right, let's assume it's okay. I hope so. So yeah, few thoughts about first market cap, right? Fisker market cap today, if we're talking, where was it? It was here, right? So if you're looking at their initial press release, it says that we're almost $3 billion at market cap. Take into account that price per share is still around $10. So that's basically the case today. We are a bit lower than this, but if you remember with Hyliion and all other SPACs, there was a tricky thing about market cap and resulting market cap of the new ticker, because You have originally SPAQ market cap, which you could see here, for example, right? That's the easiest way to see. So market cap of the SPAC is around $600 million, but at this price, market cap of the resulting company is, well, you get it, around $2.7 billion probably. So, but it's still, it's one of the lowest market cap around all other electric vehicle SPACs that we saw. All right, so we have 3 minutes left. Just before going further, I really like you will enjoy this, so click that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of such videos. And before we continue, so yeah, just one thing I have to announce, that I have one great stock that I'm going to release a video about in the next few days, so that's why you have to subscribe, right, to not to miss it. I promise this a good one. Okay, so just before I'm gonna play this video. All right, so we have less than 2 minutes left, so I'm start to dial in. We're about to find if everything goes smoothly as with other SPACs.
Not in progress at this time. You will be placed on hold.
Right, so it's about to start, it's not there yet. One thing, yeah, so I'm looking at my notes here. So just do not, there are two companies today. One is owned by Chinese. They bought everything in 2014 when Fisker Automotive filed for bankruptcy. And today it's called Karma Automotive. You can make a joke, it was a bad karma, right? And so Fisker, what used to be a Fisker Automotive, right? Today it's Fisker Inc.
Welcome to the special meeting of stockholders of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp. I am Jeffrey Strong, Chief Executive Officer and member of the Board of Directors of Spartan. I will preside as chairman of this meeting. James Crossan, Chief Financial Officer and Chief Accounting Officer of Spartan, will act as the secretary of this meeting. Of the 69 million shares entitled to vote at this meeting, holders of approximately 58.35% or 40.26 million are present today, either online or represented by proxy. We are limiting the agenda of this meeting strictly to the matters related to the stockholder voting on the proposals that were listed in the notice of meeting in Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's proxy statement dated October 5th, 2020, previously made available to our stockholders. The special meeting of stockholders is hereby called to order. Kevin Kelly, a representative of Morrow Sodali, LLC, will act as the Inspector of Election for this meeting. He has previously taken an oath as Inspector of Election. He has tabulated the proxies that were received prior to the convening of this meeting and will submit a report on the number of shares voted for each item presented to the stockholders. All proxies will be voted as marked by the stockholders signing them. The Secretary of the meeting has presented the following documents: a certified list of the holders of common stock of the company as of the close of business on October 1st, 2020, the record date for determining the stockholders entitled to notice of and to vote at this meeting. An affidavit of Sharon Alexander, an employee of Continental Stock Transfer and Trust Company, as to the mailing on October 7th, 2020, of the company's proxy materials for this meeting. And an affidavit of Ryan Lovelace, an employee of Morrow Sodali LLC, as to the mailing on October 7th, 2020, of the company's proxy materials for this meeting. The Secretary will file these materials with the minutes of the meeting. Please keep in mind that as this meeting is in virtual-only format, you will be able to submit questions that are relevant to the meeting and adhere to the rules of conduct via the virtual meeting website. The Secretary has informed us that a quorum is present at the meeting, and I declare this meeting duly and lawfully convened. We will now proceed with the business of this meeting. The next order of business is to vote on the 9 items outlined in the proxy statement. It is 11:02 a.m. Eastern Time today, October 28th, 2020, and the polls are now declared open and are available on the virtual meeting website. We will now proceed with the polling. Each stockholder is entitled to 1 vote for each share of common stock held of record at the close of business on the voting record date of October 1st, 2020. If you previously voted by proxy, you do not need to vote today unless you wish to change your vote. If you have not voted, or if you would like to change your vote, you may vote online by following the instructions on the virtual meeting website. The polls will remain open online until after I have presented the proposals to be voted on in today's meeting. After the items to be acted upon at this meeting are presented and the votes on those items are reported, the preliminary results of the voting will be reported. The 9 items for stockholder consideration today are set forth in the proxy statement and on the agenda. The proxy statement includes details on each proposal, including how many votes are required to approve each proposal. The company's board of directors recommends a vote for each of the proposals. On behalf of the company's board of directors, I will now present the proposals for stockholder consideration at today's meeting. Number 1, the proposal to approve and adopt the business combination agreement and plan of reorganization dated as of July 10th, 2020, among Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp, Spartan Merger Sub Inc., a Delaware corporation and a wholly owned subsidiary of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp, and Fisker Inc., a Delaware corporation, pursuant to which Spartan Merger Sub Inc. will merge with and into Fisker Inc., with Fisker Inc. surviving the merger as a wholly owned subsidiary of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp, and to approve such merger and the other transactions contemplated by the business combination agreement and plan of reorganization. Number 2, the proposal to amend Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to increase the number of authorized shares of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's Class A common stock par value .0001 per share, hereafter referred to as Class A common stock, from 200 million shares to 750 million shares, increase the number of authorized shares of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's Class B common stock, par value .0001 per share, hereafter referred to as Class B common stock, from 20 million to 150 million shares, and increase the number of authorized shares of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's preferred stock, par value .0001 per share, hereafter referred to as preferred stock, from 1 million shares to 15 million shares. Number 3, the proposal to amend Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to implement a dual-class stock structure comprised of Class A common stock, which will carry 1 vote per share, and Class B common stock, which will carry 10 votes per share. Number 4, the proposal to amend Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to eliminate provisions therein relating to an initial business combination that will no longer be applicable to Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp following the closing of the business combination, to change the post-combination company's name to Fisker Inc., and to make certain other changes that Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp's board of directors deems appropriate for a public operating company. Number 5, the proposal to approve, for purposes of complying with the applicable listing rules of the New York Stock Exchange, A, the issuance or reservation for issuance in respect of certain options issued in exchange for outstanding pre-merger Fisker Inc. options of 46,318,959 shares of Class A common stock and 129,122,242 shares of Class B common stock in the business combination, and B, the issuance and sale of 50 million shares of Class A common stock in the private offering of securities to certain investors in connection with the business combination. Number 6, the proposal to approve and adopt the Fisker Inc. 2020 Equity Incentive Plan and the material terms thereunder. Number 7, the proposal to approve and adopt Fisker Inc. 2020 Employee Stock Purchase Plan and the material terms thereunder. Number 8, the proposal to elect Wendy J. Gruhl and Roderick K. Randall to serve as Class 1 directors until the 2021 annual meeting of stockholders. Dr. Geeta Gupta, Nadine I. Watt, and William R. McDermott to serve as Class 2 directors until the 2022 annual meeting of stockholders. And Henrik Fisker and Mark E. Hickson to serve as Class 3 directors until the 2023 annual meeting of stockholders, and until their respective successors are duly elected and qualified, subject to such directors' earlier death, resignation, retirement, disqualification, or removal. And number 9, the proposal to adjourn this special meeting to a later date or dates, if necessary or appropriate, to permit further solicitation and vote of proxies in the event that there are insufficient votes for or otherwise in connection with the approval of other proposals set forth in the proxy statement. This concludes the matters to be considered and voted upon at today's meeting. I now declare the polls closed at 11:08 a.m. Eastern Time today, October 28, 2020. No additional ballots, proxies, or votes, and no changes or revocations will be accepted. The Inspector of Elections will count the votes. A preliminary report from the Inspector of Elections shows that each of the proposals has been approved, and each of the nominees have been elected to serve as directors. Stockholders may submit questions and comments by typing questions into the text box that appears in the web portal. We will review these questions after the meeting and may contact stockholders to discuss their questions further. That concludes the order of business outlined in the proxy statement and the agenda. Now that the business portion of the meeting is closed, I declare the meeting adjourned. On behalf of the Board of Directors and officers of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp., I want to thank you for virtually attending today's meeting.
All right, so congratulations for all you who waited for Fisker to be merged. Yes, it just happened. And so I remember they voted all 9 proposals. Everything was adopted, was approved. So there is no surprise again. And Fisker is now officially, Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp is now Fisker Inc. Is basically, so what happens next? As usual, in the next 2 days, like at the beginning of the next 2 weeks, you should have your ticker changed from SPAQ to FSR. And don't be surprised if at some point you go to your brokerage account, you don't see SPAQ symbol in your account, or you see it but it's kind of 0. Yeah, you need to recheck it later, so it will be taken automatically for you. Now we see that the price action is still below 10 really, and well, we'll see what happens next. I mean, if there is a big market crash, which everybody expects at this time, well, I hardly see it going up with all these preconditions, on the market. Because once, especially the new investors, which we saw during the last 6 to 9 months since, this situation started, they only saw so far everything rising. So once you see everything going down, it will be hard for this price especially to grow. So I'm not doing any projections, just sharing my thoughts. I hope those are helpful for you. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope that concludes everything today. I mean, we spoke about Fisker, and yeah, let me know. Thank you again for your participation. See you soon. Bye.